this is Ebro Darden. He will stop at absolutely nothing to make sure you know that he got the talking point. He really thinks he's one of the cool kids, even though the argument has been made for quite some time now that the cool kids are pushing back on the establishment wokeness. But my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
The algorithm is a monster. They really want me to quit, but it's not going to happen. So Ebro here has spent the last handful of years going to bat for the establishment regime, and it makes no sense. So he is a weird race baiter. He's constantly screaming about how everything is racist and we need reparations. It doesn't make any sense. But what's very funny, well, part of the peculiar nature of this situation is that his wife is white, okay? So he talks nonstop about how everything is racist, but his wife is named Stephanie Marie. She's got nearly 300,000 on YouTube, and she does makeup and workout tutorials. I mean, if I scroll through this, you'll probably see her at a Starbucks getting a pumpkin spice latte. It really gets no more white than that. And I'm pretty sure that one of Ebro's parents is also white. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because recently, I mean, here's his Instagram page. He's got 840,000 followers on Instagram. And it just posts, look at this, 14,000 posts of him just race baiting and trying to trick people into believing his line of nonsense. It just never ends, bro. Give it a rest. You guys, you really do need to go back to the drawing board and come up with something that makes sense. But recently, he posted this guy, and there is a lot of twists and turns here because Ebro has been quite boisterous about his opinion that, oh yeah, the Palestine protesters should be able to do whatever they want. He wants reparations for black people. But then when New York Governor Kathy Hochul decided that she was going to set some money aside for survivors of the Holocaust, that was a bridge too far. 80 years and 250 years, whatever. There's a big difference, and that doesn't matter because Ebro knows that there should be reparations for slavery, even though he's only going to get half of it, if it even exists. It's all complete mess. But the point here is he has been outspoken about, he would never call it anti-Semitism. He would say, oh, like Palestine has the right to exist, but it's all a complete mess. These people have twisted themselves into a pretzel.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
But now he is reposting a clip from Ari Berman that is telling you everything is racist. And in the quote, or in the caption, he says, and if you are voting for the GOP, you are aligned with this white supremacist, conservative, male white minority. What? So if you even think about voting for somebody that Ebro doesn't like, you're a white supremacist. And then there's that lady out in Arizona, the attorney general. I actually have that tab pulled up as well. It's illegal, right? I'm pressing charges against 11 people. So Ebro says, if you're voting for the GOP, you're a racist. That's white supremacy. But then the AG out in Arizona, of course, says, actually, it's even worse than that. It is illegal. Meanwhile, Cartel Katie Hobbs is pulling all the strings. She got installed, and she was Secretary of State overseeing her own election. I mean, if you want to put it nicely, it is a complete mess. The corruption is just through the roof, and that's why I have been hopeful recently that it's over, right? Maybe me and my buddies reading all this news are a little bit ahead of the curve, but it's over, right? You guys, you tried it, and now we see the story of the presidential transition campaign or whatever, and that probably happens every 4 years, no matter what. But like, it's over. We all see it. So just you got 4 years now, and you have at least one generation of name rehabilitation because Democrat is just completely tainted. But it goes on. You are aligned with white supremacist, conservative, male white minority. Okay, I don't really think that's the case. I mean, it's still America. As much as you want the white males to be a minority, I just don't think they are. And Ebro, you're half white. Your wife is white. So what are you complaining about? You will soon see I guess there's a typo here, they give 0 Fs about your culture, ethnic group, or economic status. Oh, you mean like when Bo Biden said if you don't vote for him, you're not black? Right? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know. They're only protecting themselves. And you are too for a few measly crumbs you think you might get. What? Bro, that's kind of like the junkies, right? The Democrats love the junkies because those weirdo zombies aren't going to question anything. They're just going to line up outside the whatever city hall or sign up for some benefits. They're going to get $200 a month to shoot H under the Bay Bridge while they completely terrorize whoever is still left in San Francisco. But I digress. That's a little bit of a different story. And then he adds another comment. Many in the comments are missing the Supreme Court's current slant and support of proven criminals. What? You mean the BLM rioters that got paid out? You mean the criminal mayor of Dalton? I mean, it's all completely backwards, and you just want people to believe you? Right? I mean, Kamala Harris herself was bailing out protesters. The list of hypocrisies and projection just never stops. But the Supreme Court is now supporting proven criminals. It's just not real. And the white male minority, it's just not real. As bad as you want it to be, it is not. And this guy, I truly think, I always say this, there's a difference between pure evil and incompetence / stupidity. But I think Ebro, he genuinely doesn't know what the hell's going on. He just gets the talking point. He works for Apple. He knows exactly what he has to say. He doesn't think twice about it. And even if he did, whatever, he knows, who's buttering his bread. Plus being okay, continuing to marginalize ethnic groups and women. What is happening out here? And so Ebro, who you could make the argument is a rabid anti-Semite, posts a clip of a Jewish man telling you that everything is racist.
Conservative white minority has rigged the political process in favor of an extreme faction of the Republican Party, basically to prevent a much more broader and more diverse majority from taking power. And the Supreme Court is a perfect illustration of that because it is the product of two anti-democratic institutions. It's a product of Republican presidents who lost the popular vote, and it's a product of conservative senators who represent a minority of Americans appointing the conservative justices. So the way we elect presidents violates one person, one vote. The way we elect senators violates one person, one vote. That has led to a rigged Supreme Court. Then the rigged Supreme Court themselves has further rigged the political process to benefit Republicans through things like gutting the Voting Rights Act, allowing dark money through Citizens United, and also issuing decisions that are at odds with the majority of Americans, overturning Roe v. Wade, overturning gun control, overturning environmental protection. So a product of minority rule has then deepened minority rule in the U.S. And basically, Republicans have used the courts, and particularly the Supreme Court, to do all these unpopular things because they know they can't win on them otherwise. A shrinking conservative.
Okay, so this guy is just a weirdo. And to have him be posted by Ebro to let you know that if you don't do what he says, then you're a racist. And then, of course, you have the attorney general out in Arizona saying, actually, you're worse than a racist. You are a criminal.
After the general election on November 3rd, 2020, the defendants and other unindicted co-conspirators raised false claims of widespread voter fraud in Arizona to pressure elections officials to change the outcome of a transparent, free, and fair democratic election. Those efforts ultimately failed when officials stood firm, followed their statutory duties, and officially certified Arizona's election on November 30th, 2020. The defendant Republican president...
Look, these people are really so desperate. You can see the top comment here. Desperate Democrats. This is so obvious. It's not true. Yeah, I mean, and as far as Ebro is concerned, why are you doing this? Okay? He is worse than D.L. Hughley. Well, no. He's not worse than D.L. Hughley. I had to stop following D.L. Hughley because right? He used to be a comedian, and now he's just a paid shill. He's quite literally reposting paid production advertisements for the Biden administration. But D.L. Hughley, I mean, that's just another beast. That guy is very strange. There is something sinister on the line for him and Ebro. But I'm genuinely curious as to what is at stake for these people, right? It's not even remotely realistic. Gone are the days of having a little bit of a political disagreement. Now these people are just coming up with, they're throwing stuff at the wall, and they are calling you all the worst names in the book if you choose to do something that they think is incorrect. And they will ignore any and all evidence. Then, of course, you have the Kennedy sisters also. So this lady's going to tell you you're a criminal. Half-black Ebro is going to tell you you're racist. The 15-person Kennedy clan is also going to tell you that, of course, Orange Man bad. That's obvious. But our own brother is also bad because he is not going to bat for the establishment, even though that very same establishment may have had something to do with the death of our father. But that's a different story. And then you're not supposed to bring up the weird vocal fry or whatever the hell Kennedy has because, oh, that's just a disorder that he had. And, it's like, well, okay, fine. Even if that's true, he seems unhealthy and probably shouldn't be president. And that should be enough alone. But then you find out that at least one, if not two of the sisters also has that weird vocal fry thing that sounds like they're about to die, which makes it a little bit more clear that, makes it a little bit more likely, a little bit more plausible that is some sort of weird inbred defect.
Robert Kennedy Jr.'s sister talks like him.
What are you talking about?
Dude, are they inbred? I thought he just had some unfortunate throat incident, like he got kicked in the throat with a hockey stick. But his sister talks the same way.
Leader for us. He stood with the United Auto Workers. He's a man we can trust and who carries forth Bobby Kennedy's values and John Kennedy's values.
As you know, Carrie,
what the fuck is going on?
That's rude.
Will potentially take votes away from
I don't sound like that. Yes, you do.
President Biden and some of the very
This is huge.
and close
They're
swing-
inbred. The Kennedys are inbred. This is what I don't get about interviews. I would not be able to not say, wait a minute. Why are you talking like that? You talk like your brother. Are you guys inbred? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so, all of these people are not only voting against their own best interest or telling you to vote against your own best interest, but they have jumped through hoops. They have twisted themselves into a pretzel to make sure that Orange Man bad. And look, maybe he is. Maybe you guys could have made one singular point about why you didn't like Trump, and that would have been, a little bit of cause for concern. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. And like I said, is this real life? I am hoping and praying and wishing that eventually I'm just going to snap out of it. We're going to wake up. You got the weirdo Democrats with purple hair. You got the Transformers. You got the school kids. You got these Palestine protesters demanding that they don't face any consequences. It just never ends.